Oh, welcome to another week of Irish Fantasy Points. Coming through another debate with you this week for the week 2 matchups. I have Shane to my bottom half of the screen and Jamie to my right half of the screen. How are you boys?
What's crack, boys? Second week fantasy football. How are we all going?
Some of us are winners. Some of us
Some
aren't.
of us are, some of us are losers. You know.
Well, actually, there's only one winner here.
It was a
Did
bad
you lose
battle.
to that? Did you? I thought you won that. No.
No, I lost. I played. I thought the Saints defense was going to save it for me until Will Levis threw that terrible interception. That defense 25 points.
Yeah. Not a good time. Not a good time. I actually ranked third. Do you know those weekly reports of Sleeper sent out?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was third in our Dynasty League and this league, and I lost to this fellow who was second in both of them.
That's
how-
Yeah.
against like the that there's a setting you can do on paper where the league median, so you play 2 games a week. So you play your game, obviously. So say you lose the highest score and you get the second highest score, your score is also put against the league median. So you have a game against that else, so you can have like 1 win and 1 loss because you obviously lost a game, or if you win your matchup and you beat the median, you get 2 wins. It's an interesting way of playing.
No, that's for cowards.
What you mean the game is fair?
Yeah, it's like, come on, like that's just like this week in general offense. There was not a whole lot of teams that passed for over 200 yards. Even there was like a lot of games where it was like 180 yards, 170 yards, 160 yards. Like it against the median this week, like would have been like 70. I'd say it would have been too easy to win. If you drafted anyway half decent, you should have won that game. Oh wait, hang on. How many points did you get then?
I'll actually double check what I got. I think I got 88 or something and a half PPR.
I think I checked in, man. You were on like 66 at one point. I was like, whoa, he's having a stinker.
Yeah, 87.76. Like Dak 12, Kyron 12, Pacheco 50, Marvin Harris 1 point.
That was like me last year, except instead of Marvin Harrison with 1 point with your first pick, it was Nick Chubb with a snapped leg lying on the ground, and I was like, oh well, there's my season gone.
The quarterback didn't score a lot this week. It didn't help a lot of people.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield, I think, is going to be the guy that we see jumping off waiver wires. I reckon. I'm surprised he didn't come off in our league with the amount of people who have bad quarterbacks in our league. Nobody wanted Baker.
He did go to one of the teams, but I think that team dropped Justin Herbert, so they weren't exactly losing a lot.
Yeah, that's Jamie's team there. He made the great call about J.K. Dobbins last week, and J.K. Dobbins seems to be the guy.
He's my boy.
Looks like he would.
Yeah. Some J.K. Dobbins where he's like running, and it looks like he's about to score a touchdown, and then all of a sudden he seems to run out of energy.
He starts covering the ball with he's still about 2-3 paces ahead of whoever's behind him, and he's just like, I am not making it.
Poor lad, his legs can't be there yet. Like
his leg will never be there. He's at the start it like 7 times. Surprised he doesn't need like a fucking crutch to run up the field with him.
We hit the matchups for next week.
Here we go.
Forgot that had that nice little outro on the end of that Sonic thing. Buffalo at Miami, the Thursday night game. It's a nice game to have on Thursday night. Actually, as long as the Thursday night games stay decent, we should be all right. Josh Allen. Josh Allen had a great game last week, so you're going to play him, but Tua might be a bit of a question mark.
Yeah, against this Bills team though, like they bar Josh Allen, they all struggled on offense. Josh Allen was running for his life, trying to pass the ball at times there. Like it just, I don't know. It could be a rough one again. Like it just depends. Like Jalen Ramsey's there. Like if he starts taking, like he just takes away one receiver out of that team straight away. Like,
so question just came in there. How do we feel about Burrow this week? So they have Kansas City on Sunday night or Sunday afternoon. How do you feel even about this? Say you had Tua, you picked up Tua just after the bad Burrow week. Are you interested in Burrow at Kansas City or Tua tonight?
Probably Tua, yeah. Like I think Burrow, the Bengals in general, without the run game and Mixon, look like they're going to struggle this year. To be honest,
they always start slowly though.
That's true.
They were terrible. Yeah, like they burned everyone last week. Be it fantasy, be it betting. The
most important thing, they didn't make me money.
They did not make me money. Yeah.
Might be another interesting on Brock Purdy against Minnesota or Burrow.
I think San Francisco just look like they're just going to run the ball at you until you can stop it. So
yeah,
but Burrow has to throw it. Surely the upside is with Burrow in that game. Like
you would
follow up question. Would you put Baker or Goff in ahead of Burrow, and who would you prefer out of Baker and Goff? So I'll get you the matchups here. Let's see. So Detroit they play in the same matchup. So it's Baker versus Goff.
I like Baker. You know, I thought Baker was very good the last day. Where you do it back to back is another thing, but you know, he has his weapons. He has the two boys. I'd probably go Baker.
Yeah, I'm very on the fence about it, but I lean to Goff just for the talent that he has around him.
I'd be the same. I'd lean to Goff over Baker, but I'm a known Baker hater is the issue.
Yeah, he burnt you a lot the year you drafted him. Like, what was it? Week 1, 6 picks.
I don't know if I've ever actually drafted Baker, but yeah. No,
was it not you who had him like 2 years ago and he like caught you rotten for like 6 picks the week you had him in?
That probably is correct.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Sounds like something that would have happened to me.
Yeah, it does.
Achane, we haven't had much news. There's still optimism he'll play, but he's a game time decision.
Yeah, I think he'd be very slow to start him. You know, if you can watch it up to the game, watch it up to the game. If you're like us and probably have to go to bed at some point, I'd probably not play him. I don't think he's going to. I think he's got a snap count or something. I don't think he's going to play as much as Sleeper. I think he does here only have 14.5. He's definitely not getting that. I don't think so.
Cut to tomorrow morning. Achane has 30 points.
I know why did I say that.
Yeah, I think the really ballsy call is to play Jalen Wright because like it's like a Shanahan system there with Miami. I think they've just shown that whoever runs the ball, as long as they're fast, they're going to score high points in fantasy. So I think a ballsy call is to play Jalen Wright there. But look, a lot of leagues have that auto sub now. A lot of guys just leave Achane sitting in, and this advice is absolutely useless for him. We don't play that way though. We don't give any outs.
Question came in: if Achane is out, are you throwing in Jalen Wright in lineups? We were actually just talking about Jalen Wright before we came in. I picked him up on the off chance I'm not going to play him tonight, just because if Achane is out, fire him up. There has been debate about whether it'll be Jeff Wilson or Jalen Wright. I'd lean on the Jalen Wright side purely because he had a good preseason. He was a scratch at the weekend, but Wilson was playing special teams, so make of that what you will. But my bet would be on Jalen Wright.
I think it's a toss-up, yeah. Like, I think if you can, I think you just stay away from Odker. I think there's probably better options of running back in different games. And someone on a waiver at some point. You probably pick someone up like by now. But yeah, like I'd probably go more Wilson, but Jesus, I think we're all guessing here at this point, to be honest.
I don't think it really matters which of the two of them you fire up if Achan's out. Like the way that offense works, like we see them Mostert and Achan, like they kind of go 55%, 45%. It runs. The snaps they're kind of shared out. So I assume that they're not going to go away from that, even if it's Wilson and Wright that are playing. Like if Wright plays, I don't expect Wright to get 90% of the snaps just because Achan and Mostert are out. I think if Wilson's going to be there, he's probably going to get his fair share of snaps there as well. But it's just that offense is so good running the ball. We've seen it with Achan and Mostert. They can both be extremely explosive, and Wilson and Wright are two guys who have that in them as well. Like Wright showed it preseason. So if you're up for the game tonight and you see Achan's out, I'd have no problem firing him right. I'd take the shot.
James Cook on the other side of the ball, he's an automatic yes. We don't need to worry about that. Keon Coleman would be a bit of a debate.
Yeah, maybe after last week, I don't really know what way it's going to go. It's like I think he's clearly the Bills one, but if he's the Bills one and Miami see it that way, they're probably just going to slap Ramsey on him and take him out of the game. That'd be my worry for Coleman.
Yeah, I think it's the same kind of crack as we were on about last week. You know, like Shakir there, he had a good game last week, who we said here last week to throw in if we could. But nobody obviously threw him in on the first week.
Yeah.
But
I don't think it was emphatic, throw him in as you were saying. I think I was very, you're not really going to do that though, are you?
Yeah, actually going to that. No. It's advice, and it would have worked, but no. I think from here on out, I think you're probably going to be a little bit more dependent on Coleman. I think rookies are very slow week one anyway. Whatever way you look about it, I expect him to do more. And Jesus, Josh Allen needs help, because they struggled against the Cardinals last week, and they're going to have to get something going. I think Coleman and Shakir there. I think the two boys. If they can get it going, it's going to be those two.
But yeah, because they didn't really utilize Curtis Samuel either, like who they got in the offseason. And Mac Hollins actually had a very good game for him. He like Mac Hollins is a guy he caught. I think he had the most targets in the game. Did he? For them?
Did he?
Or did he just catch? No, sorry, he just caught the touchdown. Sorry, but like them four guys, it's. I don't know. It could be a bit of wide receiver purgatory there for them guys, but it looks of it without Diggs there, it looks tough to get a catch in Buffalo.
Keon might come on. Like the first game, he looked all right in his first game. He's clearly the wide receiver one already, though.
Yeah. I think it's clear and obvious. Yeah.
Would you prefer to play Keon Coleman against Miami or Brian Thomas? Who do the Jacksonville? They have Cleveland.
Yeah, I think I go Coleman there, even though he's probably against Ramsey. That whole Browns defense, after watching the full Cowboys game last weekend, that's a tough defense.
Yeah, I go Coleman.
And then Jamie, Tyreek Hill, and Waddle, they're just straight in, so we don't need to worry about them. But say Dalton Kincaid at tight end, bad first week.
Reed is fighting one day. How much did he get? Did he only get 1 or 2 targets or something like
that? But he was double covered like most of the game if you actually watch that back.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, I think the Bills struggled, but we all know the Bills are a decent offense. If there's anything they're good at, it's going forward. And if we are in that whole wide receiver roulette of Coleman and Shakir and Samuel and Hollins and whoever else is there, at some point Kincaid is going to be that number one, and like Shane said, if Coleman is going to be double covered all night, Kincaid's the next target, surely. So it's a tight end. You're going to have shit weeks. That happens. I think you just load them up if you have them. You definitely draft them high enough that you're not dropping them anyway. So I'd say just keep going.
That brings us neatly on to Vegas at Baltimore then for the start of Sunday. This one's pretty cut and dry. There's not a whole lot on the Vegas side you're going to be looking at other than really Devontae Adams and Brock Bowers at this stage.
Madison had a good week 1, man. It's very hard to say that. Like, if you picked him up and you're weak at running back, he's a solid flex option. Like 14 points last week. Like he scored well among running backs. Like, what was he, the 12 last week or the 10 last week? Like, you're not going to shy away from that.
Yeah, but I suppose the Chargers are a lot worse. They're not. Chargers aren't a great team. I don't think you're playing him here against the Ravens. I think you're right. If he's on the waiver, pick him up, bench him, drop him there. But I don't think you're starting anyone here on the Raiders side, apart from Davante Adams and Bowers. But I don't think anyone else.
Like, I honestly think Davante Adams in leagues now, looking at the way they played last week and how poor they were, like, off a name value, I'd be trying to trade Davante Adams right now and see what I can get back. That'd be what I'd be doing. His name is so big and he's known as clearly, when he has good quarterback play, he's one of the top 3 receivers in the league, top 5, top 3. But like, I tried to play that and trade him now. If I'm honest, I just don't think the Raiders are going to be good enough for Davante Adams to be the player we know for fantasy football.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, they're going to really struggle this year. Like, and they did struggle last week. And again, it's Chargers. Now they're hitting the Ravens. Like, they're not going to do well here. Like,
tough defenses. Like,
I don't think it was Davante Adams' fault. I think it was more just the Raiders in general.
I
still think he's a good player, but it's just it's the situation. Going back to the Madison point, I just wanted to see kind of where you were standing on that. So if we were to go and put, say, Zach Moss against the Chiefs, would you play him or Madison?
Zach Moss.
Yeah, I think I'd lean more Madison. I think they kind of had a roughly the same kind of snap share amongst the backs that were there between White and Madison and Brown and Moss. So I guess kind of a toss-up.
You like Madison, don't you?
What? No. I just don't think the Bengals last week were atrocious for a team that I thought were actually primed for a Super Bowl. Maybe this year, a Super Bowl run, a sneaky one. But no, I just I lost all faith in one game.
That's fair.
Devin Singletary against the Commanders.
Yeah, that one's interesting actually to me. The Commanders, maybe on the ground they defend a little bit better. It could just be an air raid for the Giants. Danny Dimes might actually throw some real dimes.
I probably think play Singletary. I think like he is the only one there. I think the problem with Madison as well, you have Zamir White, and they do want to use him too. They're not going to just leave him dwindle off into the sunset. Like, whereas Singletary, he has all the backfield. They're useless, but he's going to get the target share. Like,
yeah.
So the Baltimore side's a bit easier. Lamar Jackson, yes. Derrick Henry, obviously. Zay Flowers might be a bit of a question. Would you like to play Zay Flowers or Chris Godwin against Detroit?
I'll probably go Godwin.
Probably would, yeah.
Zay Flowers or Michael Pittman against Green Bay?
I think you go Flowers.
Yeah, I think I will go Flowers just for the matchup with the defenses more than anything.
I think this is where you'll judge Flowers, because if there's any game he should dominate here. Like, they should get a lot of ball. They should absolutely hammer the Raiders at this point. If he's not scoring well this week, you're in a bit of trouble, and I'd start panicking. I don't have him, so don't worry. It's not
I was like, why are you going to panic?
I don't anymore.
And then Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely. That's a new question mark we have there. Are you worried about Andrews, or are you plugging him straight back in?
No, I'm not worried about him at all. Again, last week, like Kincaid for Buffalo, Mark Andrews, if you actually watch the coverages back, Andrews was double covered most of the time. And Baltimore play a lot of 2 tight end sets. So that's to disguise the run game. Likely he's going to be on the field a lot when they're throwing. So it's a 1A and a 1B situation there. Like, I wouldn't be worried if I was an Andrews holder. We did a poll earlier in the week. and Andrews came up as the most kind of worried about player. That was kind of the question: him, London, or Harrison. And he came up 60%, and London was 40%. Harrison was nowhere. But I wouldn't be worried. I have Andrews shares now. I'm not worried.
Question in from Jay there. He traded away James. Well, it's not a question, it's a statement. Traded James Cook, Cortland Sutton, and Isaiah Likely for DJ Moore, Amari Cooper, and Dalton Kincaid. It's a 1.5 PPR. I've never seen that set in 1.5 PPR. James Cook, Cortland Sutton, and Likely for DJ Moore, Amari Cooper, and Kincaid.
It's hardly the 1.5 pick, Dan, is it?
No.
I wouldn't say so.
5 PPR, so yeah, it's just a weird setting. Like I've never seen it. Like it would give you a lot, gives you a massive advantage toward wide receivers anyway. Like if it's full PPR and then another half point, like.
Yeah, trade high off the Likely situation. Cook, he's always going to be valued a bit. Sutton, I think I mistakenly drafted him myself. I might try to get rid of him. But you got Amari Cooper back, who doesn't have a quarterback. DJ Moore. I would take the Amari Cooper side.
Yeah, I think.
You can see it, but it's a lights on James Cook. You know.
Yeah, that's the part that hurts.
This is the longest applause I've ever heard.
That's just static, lad.
Did you do that? I thought that was just your microphone going to shit.
No, that was supposed to be an applause on our soundboard. It just sounded terrible.
Yeah, I just came out static.
Yeah, I couldn't see the mic with his beard there. I thought he was eating it or something.
He still has Gibbs and Jake. You're perfectly all right at running back.
Yeah.
I know. No, that's fair enough. I presume you did it for because you need a wide receiver. And like DJ Moore do well.
Yeah.
Chargers at Carolina. We don't need to stay here for very long. J.K. Dobbins is all I'm really interested in
here. Yeah. J.K. Dobbins, man, he's as long as he stays healthy, I think he's that potential to be a stud running back.
It's good to see.
Yeah, it is good to see.
Yeah. You just any running back playing against the Panthers for the next however many weeks, just play him.
Big breakfast. We are down for dynasty questions. Put them in the chat. Go for it. We love a good dynasty question.
Yeah, I think everyone's out on Bryce Young, aren't we? Like it kind of kills their whole team.
I'm looking for defenses to play against them. I'm 2 or 3 weeks ahead trying to get teams against the Panthers.
Your whole strategy is just waiver the defense against the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, stop. I have fucking the Raiders stash for week 3.
Who has them this week?
The Steelers.
Yeah, but who has the Chargers? Does someone have the Chargers?
Why do I have the Steelers on my team then? They must be playing someone terrible as well this week. They have Denver. I went for the Bo Nix. I have a clear strategy with defenses. Terrible quarterbacks.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
We don't want to talk about anyone else really in this game, do we? Like Lad McConkey, I'm not going to play him, but I'm going to keep him on the bench stash. He's not doing too badly.
I think flex Lad McConkey. There's a couple of difficult matchups. We were on about it earlier for the likes of the Jaguars with a defense. That like if you have Jaguars players and you have Lad McConkey stashed on your bench, I'd be playing him over Christian Kirk or your guy Robinson. And who was I on about earlier? The likes of Keon Coleman, they're going up against probably playing against Jalen Ramsey tonight. Like I probably play Lad McConkey over all them.
Yeah. He looked good. He looked good last week.
Yeah.
Before we move on to our next, okay. So Amari plus a late 2025 first round pick for Worthy. 10 teams start, 11 super flex. Amari is my wide receiver 5 behind JJ, Lamb, Ayuk, Neighbors. Man, you have some serious receivers.
Mm.
Worthy is so electric, but I can't tell if it's a little heavy. But my gut says do it. So you trade away a Mari and a late 2025 first for Worthy. I'd do that trade. Like, I picked Worthy 104 in our Dynasty League this year.
Yeah, I think it was that. Yeah.
Yeah, so what, like a late first round pick, the value goes down massively. And Amari Cooper, how many years do you have left of Amari Cooper now? He's probably only worth a second anyway in Dynasty.
It's more like how many days you have left with Amari Cooper. Come on.
It's an extra first next year anyway, so.
They definitely do. Yeah, definitely. There's no question mark to be had there.
Like Worthy looks like the real deal. You know, like even our keeper league, I drafted him pretty high too. Like, you know, when you draft him high in the redraft, you're feeling like you need him for a dynasty. Like,
yeah, normally with those Chiefs wide receivers, you don't even get 1 week out of them before their potential disappears. Like, who was the one last year? Sky Moore? Was he
Sky
2
Moore,
years?
Yeah, Sky Moore. Yeah.
Jamie loves taking that plunge
every year.
Yeah, I think the only one you think. Oh, you got Rashee Rice last year, wasn't it?
I got Rashee Rice.
Sky Moore was 2 years ago. You did Sky Moore, did Rashee.
One of them had to hit at some point, you know. Now we've got two of them.
Will you trade Likely and Javonte? I assume it's Javonte Williams for London and Pitts. That's a lot of Falcons.
Yeah, that's too much Falcons.
That's way too much Falcons.
The only thing is, look, Javonte, it looked like Jaleel McLaughlin is going to be kind of more productive. So,
yeah, I don't really want any Denver pieces.
I didn't draft London, so I wouldn't feel bad about getting him in a trade. But if I drafted London, I'd be extremely sick with how high of a price I paid for him. Kirk just didn't look comfortable there last week, which is a killer because the Falcons should have been so much better this year with Cousins there.
Yeah, like, to be honest, the value, you're like, Likely and Javonte is nowhere near the value of London and Pitts. I just don't like having two Falcons. I'd probably try and trade. I'd do the trade to get the higher value of London and Pitts, and then in about a week, I'd be trying to move Pitts, I'd say.
London.
Yeah, you probably get more value for London as well.
Yeah. London went what this year is a second round pick in most places. Him and Chris Olave went really high, and I had no idea why they were going so high.
Yeah, it's because the potential. That's what it is, really. Like, wide receivers who have shown a little bit with bad quarterbacks.
Okay, fair.
To be honest, like, Likely and Javonte, like, Likely is the new hotness, so that's why there's so much. That's why someone has so much perceived value, and Javonte is nothing to me. Like, so I'd prefer to have London and Pitts.
You are nothing to me.
Dead to me. That was really harsh.
Yeah, he said it so seriously as well. It was like, you are not even a piece of shit on my shoe.
It wasn't even an opinion. It was just like, nah, fuck off.
Yeah.
Big Breakfast happy with his trade anyway in Dynasty. And then we have another question here. Is Gus Edwards or Deontay Johnson droppable?
Yeah,
you were the Edwards owner.
I dropped him this week. I didn't feel great about dropping him because the Chargers have a good run game this weekend against Carolina. But it's like, you can do it. Like, neither of those are super. Yeah. Neither of those players are going to win you a league.
You're never going to play against two of those boys, anyhow. Realistically, you know, you're only
They're
holding on to them.
boys.
Yeah, you're only holding on to them so that somebody else doesn't get them, and even they don't want them. So, so it's in your head. It's in your head.
They don't even want to. New Orleans at Dallas. Who do we like here?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
New Orleans at Dallas. You still there, Shane?
Yeah. Cowboys all along, man. Like, the Saints, everyone's overhyping Derek Carr here. Like, seriously, he played the Carolina Panthers and threw over everyone. Like, there may as well not have been another team there. They just brought fans down from the stand and just let them play against them. Like, that's how bad they were. And people are going on like there's this, like, this will be a good game, but the Cowboys should clearly win this game.
Yeah, I'd agree. Like, Saints aren't anything decent at all, and like it just shows how bad the Panthers are. Really, I would expect Dallas to blow these lads away, and I'd say you could probably put a lot of those Cowboys in. I'd say, would you even go Brandon Cooks?
Yeah, I was highly thinking about
Probably
picking him up
would.
to flex him this week.
Well,
not flex him. He would have been I have too good of a flex. He would have been my wide receiver too. I still might do that.
You probably have doubts about the running back. You're probably not sure, but you're probably starting Zeke on you.
Yeah, he's flex option, isn't he, for the goal line work?
Dowdle doesn't seem to be there yet.
Z Smitty traded Kincaid and Aaron Jones for Trey McBride and Amari Cooper. His running backs are Gibbs, Jacobs, Dobbins, Bigsby, and Chubb is on IR.
Yeah, you're still comfortable at running back. So, like, you're not too bad there. It's just, I'd be worried. Jones can be healthy for most of the time. Like, he's usually healthy. Like, Dobbins there, question mark. Can he stay healthy? Chubb coming back from an injury in, week 4 or 5? I'd be worried about that as well. Bigsby, I like. Jacobs did not look fantastic week 1 for Green Bay. And Gibbs, then you're always worried with Gibbs. You're going to lose them touchdowns to Montgomery. Like, that's the big killer for me with Gibbs. That's why I'm not a big buyer in on Gibbs. I don't ever draft him.
Yeah, I wouldn't have let go of Aaron Jones there, to be honest. I think he's highly underrated. He's always highly underrated. If he gets a good run of games there for the Vikings, and he's a solid one there, he'll do well as a flex option for the whole year.
Yeah,
you're pretty much giving Amari Cooper over for that. No, I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I you see the trend here already been on. There's a lot of people trying to offload Amari Cooper. There's a lot of people buying Amari Cooper. Like, I would be completely out in Amari. If someone tried to trade me Amari Cooper, I think I'd take fucking, I don't know, someone extremely terrible. Like, I can't even think of someone. That's how terrible he is.
So angry.
Like, I'd take like a fucking Brandon Cooks over Amari Cooper at the minute. Just because that's there.
I didn't hop in on your Brandon Cooks conversation. I was thinking about something else while you were talking about him, but I was just thinking, if you did pick him up and play him, you're kind of dependent on the touchdowns, really, aren't you? Like, I suppose he did have 7 targets this week. I'm surprised he had 7 targets because it felt like they just stopped passing after the first quarter.
Yeah, he was definitely their wide receiver 1. Like, Jerry Jeudy caught a couple of balls deep at times, but like, for 2 great route runners, like, it's just Deshaun Watson is a shadow of the man he once was. Like, karma got that man good.
I moved on to Brandon Cooks and you went back to Amari Cooper.
Yeah, because you went back to the Browns game.
You hate Amari Cooper that much, you need to double back to him.
Yeah, he left, right? Well, we traded him. Either way. But yeah, Brandon Cooks, man, definitely. I think he's a good flex option this week with Jake Ferguson out. Like, Cooks is going to pick up workload. Schoolmaker's probably not a bad tight end option. Dak does love using the tight end, but I wouldn't be shooting on him this week. I'd probably wait and see how he goes. Try to get him on waivers. But Brandon Cooks, I think Brandon Cooks is an excellent pickup, and he's available in a lot of leagues. Like, he's only rostered in 51% of leagues on Sleeper.
The running backs, Elliott, Dowdle. Elliott was probably the leader, but do you want to play any of these guys? I think there's more bench options here, aren't they?
Yeah. I will play Bigsby over both of these guys.
That's a ballsy call, isn't it?
Yeah, I play Bigsby and I play Mattison over both of these guys. Zach Moss, even.
You fucking love Mattison.
Loves a bit of Moss.
It's your new favorite player, like.
He's not. I think, look, after I'd even play Jamal Williams over the Cowboys backfield. And I don't think he's going to have a great game because we have a stacked defensive line.
Chris Olave, Raheed Shaheed. Olave was disappointing. Shaheed got the big bomb touchdown because Derek Carr just throws it up to him, apparently. Any interest?
Nope.
Probably not, no.
Are you benching Olave? Are you that worried about him?
Depends what my wide receivers are, but if I feel like I've got someone that's got a shot, I'm probably dropping them out, yeah.
2 targets for 2 receptions. That's a Marvin Harrison line right there.
Yeah. Like, what didn't he struggle for targets off a Carr as well last year?
Yeah, it was a massive issue last year as well.
Carr just doesn't seem to like using him.
He has no interest. Tampa Bay at Detroit. This game should be interesting enough to see can Baker keep it going. You could, like we were saying earlier, these are both streamable quarterbacks.
Yeah, I'd have no problem firing up either of these two boys this week. This could be a high-scoring affair.
Everyone in this game is fairly straightforward. Like White, you're playing. Gibbs, you're playing. Montgomery, you're playing. Evans and Godwin, you're probably playing them after the good weeks last week. Is any worries about Godwin, Jamie?
I don't think so. I'm kind of high enough on Godwin, and yeah, I like Godwin. Joe, Mayfield's going to throw the ball. White doesn't. He still doesn't look like that top running back that people think he is. I actually picked up Irving this week just to stack him because I genuinely think he's a better running back. But I think until they're going to get that going, I think they're going to have to throw the ball. And Evans and Godwin just seem to be constantly open. They were very good last week. Jesus, Evans had a great game. Godwin was just barely behind them. So no, I think you play 2 of them easily.
The standout of last week in the wide receiver room for the Lions was not Amon-Ra. It was actually Jameson Williams with 9 targets, 5 receptions, 121 yards, and 1 touchdown. Straight back in the lineup.
Yeah, you're surely sticking with that, hoping that that Goff turns to him a little bit more again this week because, like, Amon-Ra just didn't look himself, did he? Not that, like, I don't think it was his fault. I think he just wasn't getting the ball.
Yeah, Jameson was.
Yeah, go to the hot hand. Isn't that the thing?
Yeah, St. Brown was very disappointing. He killed you last week. If you had him, he was 6 targets or something like St. Brown. That's disgraceful. Absolute disgrace.
Schmitty says Mari Cooper had 9 targets against a great defense, which is a fair point, well made. It's only up for him. I can flip him later for a solid depth RB on a Jones level. I think the running backs were all right for Smitty as well. I wouldn't be too worried.
Yeah, I just don't see Amari Cooper getting you back that running back depth after 3 or 4 weeks. I think he struggles on the road anyway. And yeah, he had 9 targets, but Jerry Jeudy was non-existent in the first half. Yeah. If the tight end is significantly better, I'd agree. I'd take the trade then. That's fair. I'm just saying I don't want shares in Amari Cooper myself this year anyway. I've done that. I've seen the pain. I just don't want to go through it again. I just don't rate him that highly for it, especially with bad quarterback play. Like Watson isn't going to get better. He's
I
only
imagine
get worse.
You can already see Cleveland trying to get out of that Watson contract with the.
Yeah. Like if Winston comes into that lineup, I know he's not in special either, but if Winston comes in, I think Amari Cooper is well worth the price then because he's such a good route runner and Winston is such a big arm. He will get him the ball.
Sam Laporte is going straight back into your lineup in this Detroit Lions game against Tampa Bay anyway because it was a little bit down, but you've drafted him so hard that you're putting him in. Yeah,
you're not moving off of that horse.
Let's see what else we have. Indy at Green Bay. Richardson, Malik Willis is the quarterback pairing for this game. Oh, how do you feel, Jamie?
Yeah.
Behind that scarf behind him.
Yeah, such a disappointing thing. Packers were quite good last week, to be fair to them. Love went down. They looked very competitive, and this should have been a game that you just load all those buys up. But yeah, look, to be honest, you're staying away from this weekend show. You probably still put in Jacobs. He looked meh, but look, you probably draft him high enough that you're going to play him. But look, I don't think you're going anywhere near any of those wide receivers if Wilson plays. Now, they said there's a very, very, very slight chance that will play, but look, he's not going to play. Yeah, I just think you stay away from Green Bay this week. Me load up the Colts defense. That might be a play.
Sure.
Could easily be. Quick question that came in there, and it's a tough one. From Untame Music. Half PPR. Who you flexing? Mark Andrews or Brian Thomas Jr. So Jacksonville have the Cleveland Browns. And we talked about the Ravens earlier. They are playing Las Vegas.
Probably go Andrews.
Yeah, I'd be the same.
I'd lean Brian Thomas, but I think I'm more excited about Brian Thomas than you guys because he's on my roster.
I just think, look, I watched. I watched the Cowboys play them last week, and I just thought CeeDee Lamb struggled to get open at times against the likes of Newsom and that. And I just think they're just going to bottle up Thomas, man. Like, he showed he had big playability last week. For the few times Trevor Lawrence could actually get the ball downfield when he wanted to, but yeah, they're definitely going to have a plan to take him out of the game. I think Andrews double covered last week against the poor Raiders, Raiders team. I think Andrews is going to be back up again this week.
Wait. Hi guys, should I drop one of the Rams, Dobbs, Palmer, DeAndre Hopkins, or Warren for Wandale in a PPR format? Sorry, it was Rome Odunze, not the Rams. My eyesight's not the best sometimes. I'm not dropping Odunze anyway.
No.
I'm happy to drop
Dobbs.
Yeah. Dobbs, Palmer, DeAndre Hopkins. I'm happy to drop all those for Wandale in a PPR.
Yeah, I don't think I dropped Dubes, man. I think I keep Rome, Dubes, and even Warren. Warren still was carrying a bit of a hamstring injury. I think I read after the Patriots game. That's why they didn't use him a whole while. I still think he's worth a stash for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I've always liked Warren. Yeah, I thought Warren was decent. Yeah, like you're probably looking at Palmer, D-Hop really, but you really that ballsy to start just close to the start of the year to do that. You know, I think
drop D-Hop for Wandale is a ballsy call. I like it. I think you should definitely do it. I just like it just for how ballsy it is. I'd be like, if that pays off, you just look like a genius. So I'm all in on that. It's kind of thing I do, and it look like so stupid after it because it never works out for me.
It's the Giants. It's not going to be that big a play. Big Money Joe, sup fellas? All my teams are shit. I'm right there with you. CMC killed them.
Yeah, CMC is going to be I specifically said this last year and the year before when we were doing this, and I never was right. He stayed healthy both years, and this year I kept my mouth shut, and he got injured before week one, not even in week one, before it.
Yeah.
Regret all my decisions.
Yeah, let us know who you drop.
But the 49ers won my FF. Oh, well done, Big Money Joe.
Yeah, like that system, man. Like Mason came in and looked like a beast. He looks so good. It's just Shanahan's system for running backs is unbeatable. Like, it's just class.
But they all got injured instantly.
Yeah. He just buys flimsy running backs.
Back to the Colts. So Richardson, you're playing him. Jonathan Taylor, you're playing. Michael Pittman, you were annoyed with week one. Are you worried about him?
Yeah, realistically, yeah. Pierce, Mitchell, Downs, they all seem to have more of an upside than Pittman does, because Richardson seems to love slinging that ball deep, and those boys are the quicker players.
Yeah.
Well, that's easy. You want to skip over then. Cleveland at Jacksonville. We've talked a lot about the Jacksonville side already. Gee, Shane, you're a bit interested in Bigsby in this game?
Yeah, I think with how good the Cleveland front is, like they are going to be mixing up that backfield a lot. And Bigsby ran the ball much better. To just watch the game, it looked like he ran the ball much better than ETN last week.
Yeah, I do like Bigsby. Yeah.
He out as well, didn't he? So
I think Shane's frozen there quickly while we're on an aside there, Jamie. Would you go in a 12-man PPR, Godwin or McLaurin? Tampa Bay have the Rams and Washington have the Giants.
I think you're going Godwin all day. You know, I just don't think they can get much out of McLaurin at the moment. You know, they've no system there. You know, and it doesn't matter how good you are. If you have no system, you're not going to get the fucking ball.
The Giants say, "Hold my beer."
Yeah.
I would play Godwin though over McLaurin this week. Like Jamie says, I have no interest in playing a receiver for the Commanders yet.
No, I think I made that call last week where Jaden Daniels was going to run for his life.
And he did, and he had a great week.
Yeah, he almost had 100 rushing yards. I think he had like 86 rushing yards or something. I was like, go. We only need a few more.
Quickly look at his stat line while we're here, because I think he scored like 33 points in our format. No, 25. He got 24 attempts passing, 17 complete for 184 yards, 16 rushing attempts for 88 yards.
Yeah, there we go.
How many of those were backwards? If he didn't go backwards, he would have got over 100. Like,
the Cleveland side at running back against Jacksonville. Jerome Ford was useful. You're just going to plug him back in. He's a good flex option.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, he's your boy.
I don't feel like any of us are too excited about the Cleveland wide receivers. So I think they're benches for all of us, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
And
then we have been debating Christian Kirk and Brian Thomas in different sections, so we don't really need to talk about them. I think we kind of lean to playing them, but if we have better options, we'll move off them. Except I think I'm going to play Brian Thomas. I think I'm in there, but you guys are a bit more hesitant on that front. And then Evan Ingram's a question mark we haven't talked about yet in any of our questions. Any interest in Evan Ingram this week?
No, not really. That's just I really like the Cleveland defense. I know their offense had a stinker, but that defense just was so like Dallas aren't a bad team offensively. They're bad at running the ball this year, but they're good. Like Brandon Cooks is not a bad wide receiver, and they struggled to throw the ball against Cleveland just with the pressure in the quarterback's face. So I just don't like the Prince's odds of throwing downfield too much.
Yeah, I think there's probably a bit too much there really in the between Kirk, Thomas, and Ingram for him to get the ball to each of them. I just don't think that's going to happen. Like, I think Kirk will bounce back this week. I do think so. But he does seem to like Thomas. Thomas had a decent game the last day. But I'd say like the Browns' defense is still quite good with Jones. Like I know the Cowboys hammered him last week, but at the same time, the Cowboys are very good in offense.
Just looking at Brian Thomas's line last week, he had 4 targets for 4 receptions, 47 yards, and a touchdown. So he was, anytime he got targeted, he got the ball. So he's showing good signs. Anyway, we'll see how it goes throughout the season. Would you pick up Demarcus Robinson or Dortch in a PPR? He has Kyler, so he'd have the stack. Sorry, this question's from Tingley.
For the stack, just for how much Kyler went to Dortch, I think I'd go Dortch. I prefer the Robinson pick. I think it's a bit more of a rogue pick, just because Puka's out. They're such a high-powered offense, but for the stack, I think I go with Dortch.
I think that's a fair call, yeah.
Big Money Joe. Daniels was the only bright spot of my team.
Wow.
Jalen Wright or Terry McLaurin if Achan is out. I think I'd lean Jalen Wright.
Yeah.
Probably would, yeah. Yeah, and I'm not very big in Terry at the moment until the Commanders get their shit together.
You'll be waiting for the Commanders to get it together.
You will, yeah.
San Francisco at Minnesota. Sam Darnold is the greatest quarterback we've ever seen.
Yeah, and I wouldn't mind all the reports out of camp and from the beat reporters where Sam Darnold was like, after coming on leaps and bounds in camp, and I was like, what a load of bullshit. Turned out that he's actually not that bad.
They played last week, Minnesota. It was someone bad. It was the Giants, wasn't it? The Giants might be like, making him look a lot better than he is, though.
Yeah, that could be fair. I don't think he's going to like have a repeat performance against the 49ers defense.
Yeah, you lost, yeah.
Yeah. I would not be saying I am streaming Sam Darnold this week. QB1. I would be like, no.
I'm leaning on the side that Christian McCaffrey doesn't play and that it's Jordan Mason. I think that's where the reports are kind of at the minute.
Mm-hmm.
If it is Jordan Mason, fire him up. There's not a question mark here. But Jamie, you're an Aaron Jones fan. Are you playing him in this game against the 49ers defense?
No, I wouldn't think so. No, I think the 49ers defense is very a bit too good to be playing them here. But you could probably flex him. He had a really good game last week. Again, you gotta take the opposition into consideration. It was only the Giants. I think on the back of that, you kind of probably have to play him. But I don't think you feel very comfortable playing him at the same time. He's yours, Shane. What you think? Are you playing?
Yeah, I'll be firing him up. All right. Like, I actually have terrible matchups for everyone this week. Everyone's kind of playing someone that's not going to be fun for me to watch. So I'll be joining you with a loss, I'd say, after this week. Now, I shouldn't technically. Like, last week, the only player I had that scored under 10 points was Christian Kirk. Everyone else was unbelievable. So
to bring this back to a question not a question, but a statement from Big Money Joe. Warning. Never start Najee, no matter what they say. It's a fair point.
That's a very fair point. Yeah.
Would you be interested in playing Aaron Jones against San Francisco's defense or Najee against Denver?
I still lean Jones just because it's Jones.
Jones,
no other reason.
Yeah, it's Jones to the talent. Like, as you say, do you ever feel good playing Najee? Not really. No.
Especially if Fields is playing again. If Fields is playing again like that, that takes a lot of runs away from Najee.
If Achan plays tonight, would you play any of the backups? If he doesn't, then who would you play?
See, if Achan plays, I don't want to play either Wilson or Wright, just for the fact that one of the two of them won't be sharing the snaps with him, and I don't know which one.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah.
If he doesn't play, I think you can play either of them because I think they will have a split backfield.
Yeah.
That's easy enough to end that conversation. And Justin Jefferson, he's straight in. Addison, I don't want to play Addison against the 49ers defense. Either of you?
No.
No.
Debo Ayuk, fire Ayuk up after the bad week anyway.
Yeah, Ayuk just needs reps, man. Like, I seen Peyton Manning went in on him during the week was it during the game or something? Whatever way he does that show that he does, saying like that's why you get your contracts done early, get into camp, get the reps, and you don't drop balls. So he just needs reps. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's not really his fault. That's the 49ers' fault. Like,
Well, he basically took the deal that they offered him like a couple of months earlier, so it kind of is his fault too. Like, just don't be an idiot.
Seattle at New England. What are we doing here? Like Kenny Walker and Ramondre Stevenson, and after that, are we just chilling out?
Yeah, pretty much. DK, if you want a chance to flex with DK, especially PPR leagues.
Yeah, that's what they've really done it. It's because like Kenny Walker might not even play. He's injured, isn't he?
Yeah, he's questionable.
Yeah. So like if he doesn't play, you probably play Charbonnet.
And that's not a sexy play.
No.
I didn't realize that Addison was injured. Let's see what he has here.
I think he's questionable.
Not practicing on Wednesday anyway.
Oh.
Yeah, say about Walker. Walker's not practicing. But like, you're not going to play anyone else from Minnesota anyway. Like, it's not like they have any KJ Osbornes this year.
Oh,
hey, that's how rough things got for me last year, man. Injuries were a problem.
Can I move on from Seattle at New England? No one really else wants to talk about anyone here.
No, God, no.
Absolutely not.
The Jets at Tennessee. The Jets looked really good for that one drive.
Yeah. Was that the one Aaron Rodgers was on the bench for?
They actually did look good in that drive too.
Yeah.
The quarterbacks I'm not interested in either. I don't want to play Rodgers or Levis. Breece Hall I'll play. Tony Pollard I'll play. Tony Pollard's a bit of an interesting one. Would you play Tony Pollard or would you be more interested in Jerome Ford against Jacksonville?
Probably go Jerome Ford. I still think that J. Spears is going to take snaps of him.
Yeah, but they both did well last week. Like, not so much fantasy wise for Spears, but running the ball they did well. I think I'd leave Pollard, man. Like, he just, when he's not the sole back, when he comes on, he's that burst. Like, he just plays well. Like, he's touchdown threat in every play with the speed.
Yeah.
Breece Hall, we don't really need to discuss.
No,
at all. Like, he's just straight in. Garrett Wilson, like, you've drafted him so highly that you kind of have to play him. You're forced into it.
Yeah. But he did all right. You know, like, you have to take it. If he was in the 49ers, like, they're good. I think he'll be fine here. Like, I think he'll be fine for the rest of the year.
Dingley's question, do you like Christian Kirk or Brian Thomas this week against Cleveland? We kind of went through the matchup a little earlier. The boys are a little bit apprehensive about the defense for the Browns for Kirk and Brian Thomas, whereas I'm leaning towards playing Thomas above DK Metcalf in my own team, just to give you a bit of a frame of reference. But Shane and Jamie, you both kind of think the defense will be quite good and we're leaning away from them.
Yeah, like I think I would even lean to Alan Lazard in this game over the two boys after the week he put up last week.
Ooh, that's a ballsy call.
Ballsy. But it makes sense. It does make sense. Rodgers has always loved Lazard. Always, you know.
Like he had a 24-point week last week. He's rostered in 55% of leagues. He could be a very easy and streamable pickup this week.
Yeah. If Wilson's not working, he's going Lazard. Like.
Yeah. I think even with Wilson going, I think he just likes Lazard. He's still got that downfield bit of a threat in him. Like, he liked that.
Yeah.
Dingley's going to go to waivers off your advice there. I'm worried, Dingley.
Yeah, I have Christian Kirk and he's 100% hitting my bench this week. Just because I was annoyed that I could have had a clean sweep of everyone having double-digit points for me this week, and he fucked it up.
I would be worried about Calvin Ridley, though. I'm not going to play him this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you want any wide receivers from the Titans, do you, this week? Like, we're very down on wide receivers this week, aren't we? We haven't really gone like, yeah, definitely want to play these guys.
We got burned badly last week by wide receivers and quarterbacks.
Yeah, we are solely running back only league here.
Well, passing in general last weekend was incredibly poor. Like, you know, so like none of these wide receivers did anything to get us excited, to be excited about them. You know, like the best people on the pitch were the kickers. You know?
That's very true.
Brandon Aubrey, did we?
Brandon Aubrey is the most exciting thing in that Cowboys Browns game.
Hey, Dak had a good first quarter. He hit CD down the side. That was a great catch, and then the Brandon Cooks touchdown was good too. Right after that,
Put a corn dog but all the second half. Derek, PPR. If Achane out, do you take a chance on Jeff Wilson Jr. or Wright or roll Deontay or T. Higgins if active on Sunday? Oh God.
Who did the
If
Bengals
Achane's
got?
out, I would take Jeff Wilson Jr. or Wright above those two options.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. Higgins, we already said it's the Chiefs again, isn't it?
Yeah,
Chiefs,
the Chiefs.
yeah.
Higgins is half injured, wasn't he?
He didn't play last week. So
yeah, if Achane's out, I think I ride with either of the two running backs. If you have both of them, that's a tough toss-up. You could be sick either way.
Tingley is going back and saying Ridley against Sauce as well, which is just another reason not to play Ridley.
Exactly.
Knock yourselves out. I swear Lazard or Lizard is what I call him. Finally, after 2 years of drafting him, he comes through. I didn't draft him this year, and of course, he has the best game ever. Big money. We're all in the same boat with drafting players.
Yeah.
We can move on from the Jets to Tennessee Titans. No one wants to talk about Tyler Conklin, do they?
No, JB, you still have him. Yeah, did you drop him?
No, he's gone. Yeah. That experiment is dead.
The Giants at the Commanders. They're both so bad on defense that there's options here.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Daniels is fired up. Like, we've seen that week one. There's no way you're not playing Daniels. Like, would you play Daniels or Jared Goff against Tampa Bay?
For a second there, I thought you were saying Daniel. I was like, what the hell did Danny Dimes do? I was like, whoa. It just cut out on the hits for me. I was like, what?
Yeah, I think you go Daniels. He's kind of like that Kyler Murray-esque kind of player who he's going to eat up fantasy points because he's got that bit of running. And not that he's very good, but he's going to he's good fantasy.
Yeah, Devin Singletary came then as well, though. Terrible Commanders defense.
Yeah, I don't think I'd have a problem firing up Singletary this week. I think definitely if he's sitting there on my bench and I'm struggling with Jaguars players and Browns players the way everyone seems to be, I think I'd be going Singletary in the flex ahead of any of those boys.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting question for you. Say you have Achane tonight and you don't they play him. He's kind of like, you're not sure whether he's half injured or not. Are you playing him or are you going safe with Brian Robinson, who had a good week one?
Oh, you gotta stick with Achane, don't you? Just for the upside. Like, he could hit one run for 90 yards, score a touchdown, come off, and still end up with more points than Brian Robinson has in the whole game.
Yeah, it's no. I have Achane in our league, and I'm thinking about not playing him at all. So, yeah, I don't know. I'd probably go Robinson if you want to be safe. I don't think Achane's going to play. And I know I'm going to be burnt in the morning.
I thought they said, though, I thought I read something earlier saying that he is healthy. They reckon he is playing tonight. I thought I read that on Twitter somewhere, or X. Maybe I'm completely wrong.
I'll go through it later on. I'll find it.
You'll spend 7 hours doing research. Jamie will have kicked off. Achane will be marked active, and Jamie will come back. I did my research. He's going to play, boys. All the running running backs in this match, like Singletary, Robinson, Eckler, they all feel the Zach Moss kind of level. You can play them. I'm not going to say you can't play them, but I'm not. Well, someone has to score in this game.
Oh yeah, but this could go like crazy with scoring as well. Like I think the Commanders' best option is running the ball, like Daniels and Robinson, Eckler. Like those guys should get points this week. And I think the opposite then, like Singletary, I think he'll have a good game. I don't think he'll have a great game, but I think Neighbors is the guy that you want to play here. I think Neighbors, he had 60 yards last week. Like I think he's going to like be a right good pick this week. The Commanders. Pass defense was terrible.
Over his over under for the yardage on betting markets. I think he was like 65 yards and he got 66 yards.
That's what we like to see. Upset the bookies.
That over. Yeah, he could be decent this week. You're probably gonna like. I play Neighbors over DK this week anyway. That's for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
Questioning then from Tingley, is there hope for McLaurin? Dan Quinn said he doesn't want Daniels to run less. Luckily, still won even with McLaurin lack of points. Like, there is hope for McLaurin purely because he's the only option, really. Like, the ghost of Zach Ertz is there, but like Daniels is going to have to throw eventually. Like,
yeah, and Daniels has a pretty good arm too, doesn't he? He can throw a good deep ball, and McLaurin's not exactly slow either. Like, so if he can get downfield at all against the Giants, like he could be. All you could need is 2 big plays from him. Like,
yeah, like McLaurin has the talent. It just needs to get the ball, and he just needs to be just put into the game a bit more, in a way that he's actually going to get it. So he's obviously on the game, but he's not been designed for success at all, you know. And until that happens, he's just going to be a disappointment. Like, it's not his fault, you know. I don't know. It's disappointing because he's good. Like,
yeah, I think he's a guy you could look at and say if things aren't going his way before week 8, he might want to move, and Commanders might try moving to get more draft capital to help out Daniels more next year. I think you could see McLaurin moving on.
We'll move on to my Arizona Cardinals against the Rams. This should be a high-scoring affair. I was disappointed, like most Cardinal fans, this weekend because our number 4 draft pick, Marvin Harrison, didn't really get much of the ball, but I don't think we're in much danger.
I got the exact same amount of receptions there off Kyler Murray as what Marvin Harrison did at the end of the game. Waving just doesn't work, apparently. I'm open. Should have won that game. That was absolutely criminal. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
In fairness, I didn't expect them to be in the game at all, so I'll take anything.
Yeah, fair.
Matt Stafford is an interesting streaming option this week. I'd still have Goff and Baker ahead of him as streaming options, but you could look his way.
Yeah, I think I would go Baker and Goff over him as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
The running backs are straightforward enough here. It's Kyron and James Conner. You don't really look anywhere else there.
Nope.
Yeah. No,
wide receivers. This one is a bit more interesting now. There's a bit of debate around here. Cooper Kupp isn't a debate, but say Robinson. Like, you probably have more established options on your bench, but could you see Robinson sneaking into a flex?
Yeah, I think in some leagues you're probably going to see him. Yeah, like I don't think he sneaks in ours, but like in our dynasty league, I got him this week on waivers, and I might stick him in. I haven't come to that decision yet.
Robinson or Marvin Harrison Jr.
Like you're going to go Marvin there for the upside, like, but I don't know. Kyler's answers even in the press conference afterwards weren't exactly awe-inspiring. It was like, it wasn't my choice not to pass to him. The offensive coordinator picks it out. It's like, what? When you're on the field, you just go with whoever the number 1 target was. You're that shit of a quarterback. You can't make reads.
just don't overreact to 1 week of football at the end of the day as well. It's week 1, so everyone's high emotion.
Look at him. He's trying to like comfort himself that his Cardinals aren't burned. Like, my God, man. Stop self-reassuring. He will be fine.
Okay. I need that gif of Stewie Griffin just rocking in the cot.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I think they'll figure it out. Like there's no point worrying about 1 week of fantasy football if we didn't get results. Wide receivers, the ball could just not go his way. I think you still play Marvin Harrison. I don't really have an issue there. Greg Dortch, though, are you interested in him in full PPR?
Yeah, definitely. Full PPR, 110%.
But I don't think you feel comfortable doing it. I would never feel comfortable playing Dortch.
Like Red Zone last week, man. Every time it went to the Cardinals-Bills game and the Cardinals were on offense, it just felt like Dortch was the only one getting the ball if they didn't run it.
100%. I agree with
like
you.
It just,
I still don't feel comfortable playing him.
No, that's fair.
Trey McBride straight back. There's no point talking about that.
Yeah, no.
Pittsburgh at Denver. Justin Fields is back.
Yeah, he's
we back on this train, are we? What?
He was worth my 3rd round pick last year, wasn't he?
Wasn't he?
Yeah.
My God. He's just really, really awful, isn't he? Was he actually that bad last year? I just don't remember him being that bad.
I think he started kind of well, didn't he? Then he just fell off an absolute cliff. Once, like, every team he played had a spy on him for every single down.
Last year he went 15, 14, 12, 34, 40, 4.
Yeah, there was the fall off.
There you go.
In fairness, I think he got injured in that last game because he played 53% of snaps and then there's just nothing for 5 weeks. So
yeah, I think I ended up with him then, didn't I, at the end?
Yeah, I think I rage dropped him at some stage.
Yeah.
I don't think you could play him this week, but it'd be a desperation play. I don't think anyone's really going there. Like, he has the rushing capabilities, but at the same time, you could get a massive flop on your hands. And then, as Big Money Joe said earlier, do we have any interest in Najee?
No.
I just don't get excited by him. Just not. Yeah. Not something that I want to do.
He gets excited by himself.
Well, he did for that one big run he had last week, and he bowled someone over, and he got up, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm the king of the world."
It's just not going to happen for him, is it? Like, he's just not. He's not ever going to be that running back that people drafted him. How many years is he in?
This is third year.
Yeah.
It's only the 3rd year. It's hardly only the 3rd year. I feel like
yeah, it is.
That's what it feels like.
It just seems like it's a lot longer. Yeah.
Like,
I was all bigged up for him last year. He was after putting up serious poundage. His 40 times were still good. His camp went well for him, and I was like, this guy is heavier than what Jerome Bettis was in his prime. I was like, he could cause serious damage, and all he did was fall over.
I don't really want to play anyone here. Like, George Pickens is the only person I'll even look at.
Yeah. I literally went down through the team and thought the same thing. And Boswell, you're definitely playing Boswell. Stream of the week is Boswell.
The 2 kickers here could be unbelievable.
No, Lutz burnt me last year. We're never going back there.
Big Money Joe, Najee has a cool name.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
His name is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Cincinnati at Kansas City. Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes. This should if you say that it's a repeat of a Super Bowl. No, sorry, it's an AFC title game, wasn't it? Where Bengals beat Kansas City. This should be a massive game, but at the same time, there's just no excitement around the Bengals.
Yeah, I just think Chase been out for all of camp. Higgins carrying a bit of a knock, isn't he? Yeah. The running back room is atrocious. Gesicki as your number one tight end is atrocious. I don't know what I was thinking looking at the Bengals earlier in the year. I must have been looking at them through rose-tinted goggles. But
Gesicki's touchdown at the weekend, though, it wasn't a touchdown, but they ruled it as he lost control of the ball. It was a great catch.
He did. Didn't catch it. It's he almost caught that ball. It's
The likely one was really good as well. The touchdown where they got ruled out for the Ravens, where his top of his boot.
Yeah, that was so unlucky. That was so unlucky. But do you know what the difference was there? He caught the ball, and there was a decision to actually be made.
Gesicki, do you, Shane?
I don't mind Gesicki. He was all right at the Dolphins. Nothing special. I don't think he's going to be anything special here. I'd like to see a better tight end at the Bengals. I think there was plenty of that you could have went out and got. I think Hendershot that the Chiefs got that the Cowboys had has shown more flair in the year he was with the Cowboys healthy than what Gesicki has ever shown.
RGQ quickly there. Need to start 2. Pittman, Flowers, Reed, or Coleman. So I'm gonna say automatically I'm not playing Reed because of Malik Willis. I'm not going down on that hill.
Mm-hmm.
The Colts have. So the Colts had Green Bay. Flowers of the Ravens, they had an early game. They were playing.
They're Raiders.
And then Buffalo had. Who did Buffalo have this week?
Miami.
Miami's night.
Miami tonight. Oh yeah. And that
I think you go Flowers and Coleman.
It's Flowers and Coleman for me. I'd probably play Flowers purely because I'm just a little bit worried about Coleman's second game.
Yeah, I think if you don't have that auto sub in, Pittman Flowers was probably where you're going to go, just to hope that Pittman picks it up. You've paid a lot higher for him in a draft, but if you have the auto sub thing, and I play Coleman tonight, just see what the crack is. Even though I don't really know how that works. If they don't play, they get subbed out. So if Coleman is going to play, all right. So then, that made no sense by me. Never mind.
I didn't know where you were going with that.
That made absolutely no sense. We don't use it, so I just paid no attention to it coming in.
RDQ again. They caught likely by his toenail. I don't even know if that was a toenail. I think that was the top of the leather of the boot. Big Money Joe. Burrow kept messing with his wrist. If you get a chance to rewatch the game, Burrow kept messing with the wrist. I see he has discomfort in the wrist. Yeah, I saw something about this on Instagram. People were asking him. He picked up a water bottle.
Yeah, he done like this. Flicked his elbow up with the water bottle to get it. It was weird. I seen it. Yeah, he mentioned it in the press conference, but I don't know. If Burrow is injured, completely out on the Bengals, then because they were poor last week, they start slowly anyway. And if he's not healthy, God help this team against the Chiefs, could be a massive blowout.
Yeah.
Pittman did have 8 or 9 targets, so that's a good thing from Big Money Joe. Always look on the bright side of life, eh?
Yeah.
Back to this Cincinnati at Kansas City. I'm not playing Joe Burrow against the Kansas City defense. It's not happening. Not after that stink fest. Zach Moss.
13 points and lost last week, and he's Zach Moss.
He's a good play, but you really want to play him. Are you going to play Zach Moss or Malik Neighbors against the Commanders in a flex position?
Oh, that's Malik Neighbors all day.
Yeah, but Moss should be the logical pick there, though, because he got 9 attempts, 44 yards, 4 targets, 2 receptions. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, like I did look. I was completely wrong about this split backfield last week. Completely wrong. There's everything I was reading turned out to be a load of bullshit about it. So, Zach Moss, it's not a sexy play, but it's look. I think he did well last week. If you have him, you could probably flex him. I'd be happy to stick him in a flex.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Pacheco is straight into your lineups anyway. Jamar Chase, you're just going to play him, and fingers crossed it's better. Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, T. Higgins, they're all debatable pieces. Like, you could say you had those 3 on your roster. How are you ordering it?
Rice, Worthy, Higgins, that would be for me.
Yeah, I would say I'd be loading up the Chiefs here.
Yeah, I'd be the same. I think we are in agreement there. Yeah, T. Higgins isn't even practicing. He's wearing street clothes. So forget about T. Higgins. So Xavier Worthy is the real question here at wide receiver. Would you prefer to play him or George Pickens against Denver?
I'll go Worthy.
Worthy, yeah.
I'd be the same. Worthy or Keenan Allen against Houston?
Worthy. Keenan Allen looked washed last week.
Yeah.
He just looked clean, like he showered, obviously. No, he was terrible.
Worthy or Alan Lazard against Tennessee?
Worthy.
Oh, give me Lazard, Joe. It's a bad defense. Give me Lazard.
And then the tight ends, you're not playing Gesicki and you're playing Kelsey. There's nothing really else to discuss here, is there?
God, no.
No.
Oh, well, the kickers again. Start them both.
Please. Do you think the San Francisco DST gets Darnold seeing ghosts again from RGQ?
Yeah, I think this is a two to 3 pick game and about 6 sacks.
He's going to get hurt. Yeah.
You don't think Darnold's the best quarterback ever? Like,
Yeah.
Watch now, he'd be unbelievable.
Yeah, Kevin O'Connell can sell that shit in Minnesota, but it's not making its way here to Ireland.
International.
Check in for Darnold's MVP season that follows this episode.
Please God, that would make my year if Sam Darnold was in the MVP race.
I wonder what odds you can get on Sam Darnold for MVP. Shane, look that up there in the background. I don't even think it's going to be a market.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be in that market, but I'll do it.
SJMP, I want to trade Rachaad White for a wide receiver. Who would realistically be a good trade target? Neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rachaad White?
I don't know what people bite on Rachaad White for Neighbors, but if you can get that done, that's 110% a good trade.
Where would we say the line is then? Would you trade? I don't know, like where are we even going here? I'm just looking at teams trying, like, Zay Flowers for Rachaad White. I'd prefer to have Rachaad White personally.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Trying to just look through wide receivers' name. Ayuk or Rachaad White?
Yeah, I take Ayuk.
I'd prefer to have Ayuk as well.
That's probably the line, yeah. I think that's about it. That would be a good trade. Get that
yeah,
done.
that would be a good trade.
Yeah.
Do you know what? If you wanted to go with big, like I said, I try trade away Davante Adams, but just for the name of Davante Adams, like he's still a great wide receiver, and if he does get traded out of the Raiders, he's going to be class wherever he goes. So if you want to take a shot in the dark at Davante Adams, that's probably not a bad trade.
Yep. May as well chance your arm, even if it was Rachaad White plus some useless piece that you've just picked off the waivers. It wouldn't be a bad shout. RGQ, I don't know how the 49ers defense are being projected to have a bad game. Minnesota scored on the Giants. Try that against 4 insanely good pass rushers. I didn't realize they were projected to have a bad game. I'd be fairly confident the 49ers defense will destroy any offense.
Yeah, I like the 49ers defense.
Big Money Joe, Darnold is going to Holy Spirit after the 49ers are something.
Tell us you're a San Francisco fan, but don't tell us you're a San Francisco fan.
Is this the actual line for Darnold MVP plus 10,000?
Yeah, I can't even find. I can't find anything at the minute.
Yeah,
I'll check by the power.
No, I just did that. Yeah, there's no market out for it over here anyway. Oh, hang on. I'm gonna have to go into a different betting site, and I'm after getting who did we say? Sam Darnold.
Yeah,
he's 100-1 in our odds.
That's how that works, isn't it? The minus 10 plus 10,000 is like 101 to us, isn't it?
God knows, man. I don't understand that decimal point plus minus betting system. I'm strictly fractions.
What's good,
backing
guys?
Horses for too many years.
The guy who has CMC is looking to trade for an RB. My team is Josh Allen, Gibbs, James Conner, Abin Ra, Rashee Rice, Goddard, Waddle, and Ayuk on bench. Should I trade for him? Trade for CMC? Yeah, I'd be trying to get CMC. If I've won week 1.
Yeah, but is that all you have running back wise? Oh, that is what you have on your bench.
No, I assume he's saying Ayuk is on his bench, and that's his starting roster.
Yeah, he would clarify that. Is that your bench, or is that like Ayuk just on the bench? Because if that's your bench, that's a sick bench.
That couldn't be his bench.
Who's fucking starting?
Zach Moss is starting. There you go. Yeah.
No, Zach Moss is not starting. Yeah, like I would trade Connor there and get CMC and stick Zach Moss in for a couple of weeks. I don't think you get it done for Zach Moss. Like,
I'd say you'd have to put Connor with like Waddle to get CMC though.
Well, I wouldn't even do that. I'd give him Goddard. Who's his tight end? Yeah, hey, he's injured.
Has to agree to the trade.
Yeah, well, like if he wants to have anyway of a decent fantasy season and you're missing CMC for a couple of weeks and your whole team revolves around CMC, you'll take who I give you.
He wants a running back, so it's between Gibbs and Connor. And
definitely.
And maybe Josh Allen. Josh Allen is basically a running back this way.
He says he went 0-1 in week 1. I don't think you can go and get CMC because I don't actually think CMC is going to play till week 4. And if you go 0-4, you could get caught.
I don't know, man. It's hard to see that team. Like, he wants to give. You want to give Gibbs?
No, RGQ has come in and said give Gibbs to go and get CMC.
Oh, I don't know. So would I.
Yeah, I give Connor who says stick Moss in for a while, and you got hopefully CMC comes back before week 4. He might be injured. He might be grand next week, like.
Yeah, I'd be worried. Connor gets injured again. Like that's my worry with Connor. He has that small bit of a.
Yeah, he never plays a full season.
Yeah, and like I get what RGQ is saying here, but that Connor's the RB1 and try to split it, but it's just splitting that backfield has worked out that they haven't. So they haven't got injuries in the backfield.
Oh.
What Big Money Joe said he tried to trade away CMC for Saquon, Brees, Bijan, and Mixon, and only the Mixon on it. Like, Jesus, people must be very worried about CMC.
Yeah, because usually when he gets injured once in a season, he'll come back and go out again.
See, I'm in a similar position now to who originally asked the question here, Ewick. Like, I'm 0-1. Like, I'd be interested in sending trade offers for CMC in our league if people are that down on him. But at the same time, like, I don't honestly think that trading for CMC is a great idea unless you're stacked everywhere else. You could tank your season very quickly.
My plan was to see how Madison goes this week, and if Madison goes well, I was going to see about does he want Jones.
Jesus,
that way I get Madison in for a couple of weeks and then throw CMC in, and then have the three-headed monster of Henry, Taylor, and CMC. If I don't win the league, then just shoot me. I'm not playing next year.
RGQ says CMC is playing. This is a Super Bowl run for 49ers. Next year, they have to pay more and say goodbye to a few. I'd agree with you, RGQ, that, yeah, he's going to play eventually. But my worry is because the Niners, like, reaching the playoffs isn't the goal for the Niners. They're making the playoffs. I'd be worried that they could say, all right, we'll sit CMC for 4 or 5 weeks because
that's a good point.
What matters to them is the Super Bowl. The regular season doesn't matter to the Niners, really.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same with Harbaugh came out with Henry when he was questioned about his usage earlier, and he said, like, we're not playing for regular season here. Like, that's why his usage is down. He's not going to get what he got at the Titans. We're playing for late in the year. We want him to be healthy. Like, it's the same thing. Like, they're going to want CMC healthy for playoffs. Like, they know they're getting to the playoffs.
Yeah, it's about the Super Bowl for them. Like RGQ said, this is their year. After this year, there's going to be some big question marks around how they can actually afford these players. It's Big Money Joe says it's a pain management thing with that tendonitis, which is a fair point, well made. And yeah, it's just kind of are the 49ers going to risk him when they have Mason just sitting there rocking up 125 yards? We have games. The Sunday night game, Chicago at Houston. This should be a good game for the Houston side. I think the Bears could get absolutely mauled here.
Nice pun. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, there's no one on the Bears side to play, is there? Right, DJ Moore. Like you're probably not playing Keenan Allen, are you? Do we go there?
No, if you're caught, you're stuck for a wide receiver. Like me, like I drafted running backs very early in a quarterback and didn't really hit wide receiver up till later in the draft. If you're like me that way, you might be stuck with Keenan Allen as your wide receiver too. But like again, Lazar is available in a lot of leagues. I think I'd take Lazar over Keenan Allen.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that statement. Yeah. The question I'd have on the other side of the ball is those 3 wide receivers. If I have any of them, I'm probably playing them. But realistically, you're only going to get points out of 2 of them a game. So it's always going to be like a bit of Russian roulette with those boys.
Yeah. Diggs seems to be the red zone target, though. If that's any joy to the Diggs owners. He doesn't seem to be the downfield target. That's Nico and Tank, but Diggs seems to be the red zone guy.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Collins still looks really good. Right? Still looks really good, and they do seem to spread the ball a good bit. So I think it's happy enough for Collins and Diggs, but yeah, I think you're a little bit wary and dead as to what he's going to give you.
Yeah, like Houston have like this has to be the most stacked offense in the league right now. Like Schultz is top tier tight end, Diggs, Dell, Collins, all really good wide receivers. Joe Mixon, one of the top 5 backs, definitely after his performance last week in the league, looked exceptional in that offense. And Stroud looks really good again this year. Like they could make a deep playoff run this year.
DeAndre Swift, no interest in playing him this week?
No.
Comes back to the Zach Moss line, really. Would you play DeAndre Swift or Zach Moss?
Oh, Zach Moss.
Zach Moss.
There you go. He's not making a lineup then. Dalton Schultz, Cole Kmet.
Yeah.
Yeah. The 2 tight ends.
I'm not playing Cole Kmet. Like, I'm not doing that. They threw for like 93 yards. I am not playing anyone that catches a ball for the Bears. Caleb Williams, lads, look, he looked terrible. I texted into our group chat thing that we have that this that annoyed me with Red Zone. They just focused so much on the storyline of the Bears and the number 1 draft pick. Yes, they won the game, but Caleb Williams was inaccurate. He was poor throwing the ball downfield. They passed for 90, under 100 yards. I think he passed for, wasn't it? I am correct in saying that, aren't I? Just have a double check here.
I'll say how far off it now.
Yeah, 93 yards he passed for. Like, that's absolutely awful. Like I'm completely out in the Bears again this year.
Josh Jacobs was limited to training on Thursday, so he's probably going to play, I would imagine, if he's limited on Thursday.
Yeah. Yeah, that game, actually, going back to that game for a second, Jonathan Taylor against Green Bay, that's the 110% the stream of the week. He should be RB1 after this week. He does really well anytime he's played Green Bay, and their run defense was absolutely terrible against the Eagles last week.
It doesn't matter. It's just a running back against Green Bay.
Yeah, I know Saquon, and the Eagles have a good line, but you were terrible again this year.
Happens every week.
DeAndre Swift.
Big Joe Money coming in with the zingers this week, man.
Taylor Swift actually sells out stadium. DeAndre Swift can't get 5 people in the place.
Yeah. Poor Bears fans.
I'm not playing Hunter Henry than Cole Kmet.
Yeah. Well, we did say that last week as well. And we were right, technically, because Hunter Henry had 2.5 points.
It's a low bar for ourselves here.
Yeah. Right is right, man.
Cole Bowman, is Achane a must start if he plays? If he doesn't play, do I start Jeff Wilson or Ramondre?
If
Achane is active, I would play him for the upside. If he doesn't play, out of Jeff Wilson and Ramondre, I'd play Ramondre.
Yeah.
Agreed?
Yeah. I like it. We're 100% agreed on everything this week, nearly.
Josh Jacobs is a start, yes. Even with the designation, I think he's okay. That was RDQ. Joe Mixon is a play anyway. He had a great week, so we're not going to do anything there. And that brings us on nicely to the last game of the week, Atlanta at Philadelphia. Kirk Cousins looked bad. He didn't look like he was healthy. Would you agree?
Yeah, I seen a thing on this as well. Kirk's whole career, he started with his feet offset, and Atlanta are making him snap the ball in the pistol with his feet flat together. And his footwork was awful going back last week, and they reckon that's a big reason why he struggled to get the ball out. So I think just let Kirk go back to being Kirk, and you'll be fine. Don't try to change a 36-year-old man who's done this his whole career. He may as well be 80 in NFL terms. Just leave him alone.
Yeah, because he should have been great for London and Pitts. Those two boys. I think we said last week should be starting most teams because of Kirk Cousins, and because the only thing you can do is throw the ball. But my God, they were really bad last week. Yeah.
And he missed Pitts a couple of times on open. Pitts was open 2 or 3 times, and he just completely missed them. He threw the ball one time to him, I think, and it just went over him. And then he missed him another time after that. He just completely didn't even see the Pitts was open, which is not like Kirk Cousins. He's always looking at that check down tight end. That's what made Hawkinson so dangerous last year.
Yeah.
For the actual players in the Falcons side, Bijan, you're firing up. Drake London, you didn't get what you wanted week 1, but you can't really move away from him either. You drafted him in the 3rd round, the 2nd round places. You have to.
Yeah, you don't have a better option at this point. So, you're playing in London and Pitts, but I don't know if you're super happy or playing soon.
Yeah.
If Pitts was tight end 4 for the week.
Yeah,
it was the touchdown saved them, but you're playing Pitts. I'm happy to play Pitts.
But all the tight ends were poor last week.
Yeah. Hence Pitts was good.
I'm a Pats fan.
We're not the facts. Yeah.
RGQ, I'm a Pats fan, and he thinks Ramondre is going to be a top 5 RB. I'm happy enough with Ramondre this season. I think top 5 is a little bit optimistic, but I like the hustle. I like the optimism.
Hope so.
I
He's
guess
my dynasty running back.
Yeah, he looked good last week. Like he could be the shock of the season, the value running back of the year. Late, what was he drafted at? Ramondre must have been 6th, 7th round, was he?
6th. I can't remember
Yeah.
where he went. Yeah, I do agree that he will give you massive value for that draft price. Like he looked really good. The unsung heroes is Ramondre Stevenson. On the Philadelphia side, my God, Saquon was good. We all should have just, realized if you put Saquon on a good team, he's going to be good.
Yeah, like they just like the Giants are just assholes. They're just idiots. Like what was it, 3 million less guaranteed, and he left. Something stupid like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, he might have wanted to actually win games. That was the issue,
Yeah, that's true. Like especially when you're as terrible as a franchise they are, just pay. Like you didn't pay your best player, but you gave that Daniel Jones just a shit ton of money. It's like, yeah. We know how to set fires.
AJ Brown, Devonta Smith just fired them up. There's no real questions. Dallas Goedert, he might be a question mark for people. Any interest?
Look, as tight ends go last week, Goddard was middle of the pack. Like he didn't let you down completely. Got some points. He's a play. Like for me, anyway. I think with the way tight ends went last week, you play him.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine.
All right, that brings us nicely to the end of the matchup. So we can just finish off these questions quickly. Everyone, thanks for all the questions throughout the show. Please like and subscribe on YouTube and follow on X. You'll find all our handles and stuff in the little blurb going at the bottom of the screen. I don't want to read them out right now because I'm not going to remember them or say them correctly. It's late here. It's 20 to 9.
Dad's getting old. It's bedtime.
33, man. It's fucking late.
I'm fucking 33. I thought you were like my age.
What's me?
30.
Yeah.
Sebastian. Okay, I got a huge trade idea. Tyreek, Devontae, and Ingram for Lamb, Evans, and Laporta. Who wins? Well, Lamb, Evans, and Laporta win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that works, that's sick.
Yeah, I think Evans is closer to Devontae than Ingram is to Laporta.
Yeah, and Tariq and Lamb, like they're good. Like Tariq probably edges that against Lamb, but and even then again, I think I'd take Dak's quarterback play over Tua. Sometimes Tua can let you down with a bang, like.
It depends really on, Tyreek is just so explosive as well. It's just fun to have Tyreek as well. Sometimes it's fun to have Lamb as well. Would you start Brian Thomas Jr. over Amari Cooper in a flex 12-man PPR? So Brian Thomas Jr. had the Browns, and the Browns have the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I'm going to start Brian there because I've just been on Brian Thomas all day, but you guys can be the actual deciders on that.
It's Brian Thomas. I don't think I'm playing Amari Cooper for a while. Not until that fucking useless cunt goes away.
Yeah, we lead to that as well. Yeah. And plus, Amari's on the road as well. We know how he does in away games. He's had one good in the last 3 or 4 years.
Big Sonny Joe bringing the heat here. Watson has more cases pending than touchdowns this year.
I think he has more cases pending than starts in the last 3 years.
225 million coming right to his bank account.
That was ridiculous. Like, what is it with people playing shit quarterbacks lately? Used to be if you were shit, you didn't get paid. Daniel Jones got his money and so did Watson. Like, what's going on? And Russell Wilson. Like, what's going on?
This is the outro. Please like and subscribe on YouTube. Talk to you later, guys.
No thanks. Bye.